Hidden deep within the earth lived the Timekeepers, an ancient race sworn to protect the flow of time. Their home, a lush valley, cradled the hourglasses of time, giant, shimmering structures, each holding a different era. The Timekeepers guarded them, ensuring the balance of past, present, and future. But one day everything changed. A reckless sorcerer, driven by forbidden knowledge, infiltrated the valley. He sought power over time itself. His prize, the hourglass of antiquity. With a flick of his wrist, he vanished, leaving chaos in his wake. Nyra, a young historian, loved her town of Asteria, its bustling markets, the laughter of children, the scent of freshly baked bread. One moment, she was sketching in the town square. The next, everything went silent. Buildings flickered like dying candles. People disappeared into thin air. Panic surged through Nyra. She was alone, surrounded by echoes of what once was. Asteria erased from existence. But why? What force could erase a town from time itself? Lost and terrified, Nyra wandered through the ghost of her once vibrant town. The streets, now empty and shrouded in fog, echoed with memories of laughter and life. The ancient ruins, overgrown with vegetation, stood as silent witnesses to the passage of time. As she moved through the desolate landscape, a sense of dread filled her heart. Then she saw him. A tall figure, cloaked in shadows, stood at the edge of the alley. His presence was both intimidating and intriguing, radiating an aura of faded power and mystery. The eerie lighting cast long shadows, making him appear almost otherworldly. This was Kalen, an exiled timekeeper. His eyes, filled with sorrow and regret, told a story of loss and exile. The weight of his past hung heavily on his shoulders, and yet there was a glimmer of hope in his gaze. He sensed the temporal anomaly, the ripple caused by the stolen hourglass. The artifact in his hand glowed with a mystical energy, reacting to the disturbance in the fabric of time. Kalen's connection to the temporal realm was still strong despite his exile. Kalen explained the devastating truth. Asteria, the heart of their world, was lost in the folds of time. The ancient cityscape, once a beacon of civilization, now lay in ruins. The sorcerer's theft of the hourglass had set off a chain of events that threatened to destroy everything. The sorcerer's actions had created a chaotic surge of magical energy, tearing the fabric of reality itself. Glowing rifts appeared in the sky, and the landscape was distorted by surreal magical forces. The very essence of their world was at risk of unraveling. Nyra, though terrified, felt a surge of determination. Her fear was overshadowed by a fierce resolve to save her town and her people. The glowing artifact in her hand seemed to pulse with her newfound strength. She had to find a way to restore her town. The ruins held secrets and clues that could lead her to the solution. With each step, her determination grew stronger, and she vowed to uncover the truth. Kalen, burdened by guilt and a desire for redemption, agreed to help. His knowledge of time and the ancient artifacts was invaluable. Together they formed an unlikely alliance, united by a common goal. Their journey to recover the hourglass and restore balance had begun. As they walked towards the mystical horizon, the path ahead was fraught with danger and uncertainty. But with determination and hope, they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The fate of their world depended on their success. Their journey led them through fractured timelines, cracks in reality opened by the stolen hourglass. Each step took them to a different echo of their world. They landed in a version of Asteria ruled by a tyrannical king. Another jump, and they were in a world where Asteria never existed. The discrepancies were disorienting, but Nyra clung to Kalen's knowledge and her own hope. The fractured timelines were dangerous, filled with remnants of erased pasts and distorted futures. Yet they pressed on, driven by the urgency of their mission. As they journeyed through the remnants of civilizations long forgotten, they witnessed the true extent of the sorcerer's damage. The once majestic temples now lay in ruins, their stones crumbling under the weight of time and dark magic. The forest, dense and foreboding, whispered tales of a world that had been torn apart. Timelines collided in a chaotic dance, creating monstrous creatures that defied the very laws of nature. Knights from medieval times clashed with futuristic robots, while Roman legions marched alongside herds of dinosaurs. The fabric of reality was unraveling, and the boundaries between past, present, and future were dissolving. Historical events twisted and turned, rewriting the past in ways that were both fascinating and terrifying. Monuments that once stood as testaments to human achievement now morphed into grotesque parodies of their former selves. The world was a tapestry of timelines, each thread pulling in a different direction. The world was adrift, teetering on the brink of collapse. Shattered buildings and chaotic cityscapes bore the scars of merging eras, each struggling for dominance. The air was thick with the scent of decay and the echoes of 1,000 lost voices. Nyra's heart ached for the world she once knew, a world that now seemed like a distant memory. Her eyes filled with tears as she gazed upon the devastated landscape, mourning the loss of a reality that had been stolen from her. She saw the fear in the eyes of those trapped in these fractured realities. Their faces, etched with terror, told stories of lives torn apart by the sorcerer's malevolent power. Each person she encountered was a reminder of the stakes of their quest. Their quest was no longer just about Asteria. It was about saving time itself. The group of adventurers, once driven by personal motives, now found themselves united by a common goal. They discovered glowing artifacts that hinted at the power needed to restore balance. Kalen, despite his stoic exterior, showed growing concern. His furrowed brow and determined stride through the ruins spoke volumes about the weight of their mission. He knew that failure was not an option. The Hourglass's power was immense, and its misuse could shatter reality. This ancient artifact, glowing with an otherworldly light, held the key to their success or their ultimate doom. Its sands, ever shifting, were a constant reminder of the fragile nature of time. Their pursuit of the sorcerer became more urgent with each passing moment. Through dense forests and ancient temples they ran, driven by the knowledge that every second counted. The sorcerer was always one step ahead, but they could not afford to falter. The fate of the world hung in the balance, and their resolve was unbreakable. The sorcerer, whose name was whispered to be Malkor, was playing a deadly game. He left trails, breadcrumbs leading to different timelines, a test of their resolve, their desperation. He wanted them to understand the power he now wielded. Nyra and Kalen faced each challenge, each a puzzle to solve. They outsmarted mythical beasts, negotiated with displaced historical figures, fought their way through temporal anomalies. Each victory brought them closer to Malkor, but also closer to the brink of despair. The weight of countless lives, countless realities rested on their shoulders. Their journey came at a cost. Every second that ticked away was a reminder of the sacrifices they made. The relentless march of time showed no mercy, and they felt its weight with every step they took. Each jump through time, each encounter chipped away at them. The physical toll was evident, but the emotional and mental strain was even more profound. They were not just losing moments, they were losing pieces of themselves. Nyra started forgetting details of her life in Asteria. The vibrant memories of her childhood began to blur, and the faces of loved ones became indistinct shadows in her mind. She struggled to hold on to the essence of who she was, the scent of her grandmother's cookies, once a comforting reminder of home, the sound of her father's laughter, a melody that used to bring her joy, fading with each passing moment. These cherished memories were slipping through her fingers like grains of sand. Kalen, his connection to the flow of time already strained, felt the burden more acutely. The once vibrant energy that coursed through him was now a mere trickle. He felt his life force waning. He aged rapidly, his hair turning white, his movements slowing, yet they pressed on. The mission was too important to abandon, even as the cost grew higher with each passing day. The fate of countless lives, the very fabric of reality, hung in the balance. They knew that their personal sacrifices were necessary for the greater good. The stability of time itself outweighed their personal sacrifices. The ancient artifact they sought was the key to restoring balance, and they were determined to find it, no matter the cost. They clung to the hope that their efforts wouldn't be in vain. With every challenge they faced, their resolve grew stronger. They believed that their journey, fraught with peril and loss, would ultimately lead to a brighter future for all. They finally found Malkor in a warped version of Asteria. The town square, once a place of joy, was now a battlefield. Creatures from different eras clashed, the air thick with magic and fear. Malkor stood triumphant, The hourglass of antiquity radiating raw power. He was a god in this broken reality, reveling in the chaos he had wrought. Nyra's heart burned with a righteous fury. Kaelin, despite his weakened state, drew upon the last vestiges of his power. The final battle was upon them. The battle raged. Nyra, using her knowledge of history and Malcor's arrogance against him, managed to distract the sorcerer. Kaelin, in a final act of sacrifice, used the last of his power to create a temporal snare, trapping Malcor. Nyra seized the hourglass of antiquity. It thrummed with chaotic energy, but as her hand touched its surface, a wave of peace washed over her. She felt the timelines aligning, the fractured realities mending. Asteria shimmered, returning to its rightful place in time. The world held its breath as balance was restored. The victory was bittersweet. Malcor was vanquished, the hourglass returned, but the cost was high. Kaelin, his life force spent, dissipated into motes of light, his sacrifice ensuring the balance of time. Nyra returned to Asteria, but she was changed. The memories of her journey, the sacrifices witnessed, remained etched in her soul. She rebuilt her life, cherishing each moment, forever aware of time's fragility. The hourglass of antiquity stood as a reminder, a symbol of hope and caution, a testament to the sacrifices made to protect the delicate balance of time.